There we go.
All right.
Well, you can tell it's the first time I ever actually hosted StreamYards.
No worries. First time for everything, right?
Yeah. Well, I can't say that the first episode of the Xbox Live Party USA has gotten off to no hitches, but we're here. And this is our first episode, appearing here every Thursday at 9 o'clock on the Xbox Live Party Podcast channel. And let's go make a round table because I'm sure everybody knows who I am. But the other guys here you may not be aware of. So let's start with you, Slayer exclusive.
Well, what's up, guys? I'm Stay Exclusive. A regular member of the XBL Party Podcast, and I'm doing all right. Just here to talk about our favorite topic, which is video games. So let's do this.
And what are those favorite video games of yours?
Well, at the moment, I've been playing a little bit of ESO, really getting into that, and I'm actually thinking of starting Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy soon. So can't wait for that.
Yeah, they've got some people have got me hyped up about that, and I'm like, man, really? You gotta make me buy another game?
Now, there's a lot of games coming out right now. I was looking
And
at the
next,
store, and there's
oh,
over 70 games in October alone. Like if you just count at all of them, like indies and everything, it's crazy.
oh goodness,
Yeah.
and it's not slowing down either.
No, not at all.
Next on the panel, Mr. John Blue. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what have you been playing?
How's my mic? Is it good?
Yep, you sound great.
Yeah, John Blue, big gaming fan, Xbox fan. Just overall, just love gaming. So yeah, that's about it, really.
All right, man. Power Man 4K.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? My name is Powerman 4K. Glad to be here. Excited about the new topics. Can't wait to talk to you guys.
And as far as those new topics go, let's start right off the bat with Craig making a return on this past Monday. The game, it looked a lot better than what we saw last year. Craig's got an older uncle, Harry, from Harry and the Hendersons. And it's pretty impressive, all the hair in his face and everything. I'm really looking forward to it. I thought that it cried like almost like Outpost and Structures from Far Cry, and I'm a big Far Cry fan. And then you throw Master Chief in there with an AI and The Banished, and you've just taken two of my favorite franchises, stuffed them in a box, and made them have a baby. So I'm pumped, like really pumped. How about you, Slayer?
Yeah. I mean, it looks really good. A lot better than, like you mentioned, a lot better than when they first revealed it. And I'm looking forward to it. I kind of want to see more. I have to say, like, I'm a little bit curious to see how they're gonna flesh out the world a little bit more in terms of like what you're going to be able to do other than the main missions. I think that we all know Master Chief and Halo to be like a game where it's mostly like kind of on rails. You kind of have to go a specific path. So it's going to be interesting to see how how they're going to, like, I guess, evolve the world in terms of exploration, like, now that they're opening it up to this big world. Because we all know that Master Chief is a badass, and he doesn't do fetch quests and stuff like that. So there's got to be something interesting that he's got to be doing around the map, other than just like I don't know, go get this and then come back to me, like crap like that. So we'll see.
It looks like there's going to be a banished elite hunting down and killing Spartans. That could be a thorn in your side through the entire campaign.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks interesting. Definitely. Can't wait to see more.
Yep, you know it. John Blue, I know you are a huge Halo fan, sir.
Yeah, I was really impressed with like the upgrades that they did. The open world looked pretty good. All the different vehicles too. Look like the Wasp when that dropped down. Then he went and got in the wasp and was flying through all near the structures. The weapons look pretty good. The textures on the characters are really, really good job on that. And the elites, the like Spartan hunter, that looked pretty cool. And it looked like so much fun, like the open world design, like you said, like Far Cry. That looks really good. I just hope it's not like a too big of an open world, because then it might get bogged down a little bit. What do you think about that?
It could get bogged down. And those textures, you are right. I love those weapons. You could tell those weapons weren't just taken out of the box off a ship and put in Master Chief's hand.
He's scratches, all that kind of stuff on him. Like before, right? Yeah.
You could tell those things had been through a planetary crash and went through some hell, and Master Chief was just grabbing what he could get.
Yeah, no, and like the one when he was in the I think it was a Wasp, and he jumped out with the rocket launcher and then fired it down.
Yes.
Then he threw some of those fusion coils and just explosions, and the explosions looked really good too in it. This was like absolute mayhem.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty wild.
Yeah,
I wonder if the AI will adapt to you. Like if you go through the same area for the 20th time, is it still gonna be as easy as it was the first time?
The Cortana, the old design they had at the very beginning, like from CE, so the like purple, like CE Cortana.
Yeah,
like right at the beginning of the trailer. That looked cool. And then obviously you got the new AI, the weapon, she's called, I guess. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out.
And she kind of had sort of like an adolescent vibe to her, didn't she?
Like
the way
kind of
she
naive, kind of like, doesn't understand what's going on or what Cortana did, right?
The way she cocked her head and looked at Master Chief and asked, "What did she do that was so bad?" And I'm like, "Oh God, this AI is straight out of high school.
Most everything. That's what she did."
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good, though. I'm really looking forward to it.
Power Man 4K, what'd you think?
Well, a year ago, we would have thought that this would have been a huge problem, right, with the delay. But I personally think that this did nothing but help the game. It gave them a year to polish and perfect a lot of the things that maybe they didn't have the time or the resources at the moment to take care of. Looking at it as it is today and as it stands, it's a lot more polished. It's more refined. They were able to go in there and touch a lot of the stuff that you probably wouldn't have seen. I mean, it's safe to say that, nobody really expected somebody to freeze frame Craig and get the picture that they got out of it. But all in all, I think that Craig as a meme did nothing but help Halo. And really, I think it pushed 343 to, push the levels that they could do as far as development and scenery and touching, and complete 180 as far as how it looks. I think the game, and from a gameplay standpoint, was always solid. I think it looked great in the initial launch as far as like the gameplay. The multiplayer trailer was awesome. I think that Halo is going to be incredible on console and on PC. It looks like they're going to be doing a lot of development on the PC side with ultra wide support and just a few of those things. But overall, I think it's going to be a super solid game for this Christmas.
Yeah. Xbox. They flipped the script, didn't they? They started saying, okay, well, it looks like a fridge. Well, here's a fridge. You're going to put Craig all over Twitter? Well, guess what? We got Craig. You don't have Craig. Look at Craig. Look at how beautiful he is.
Craig got a mohawk.
That's right. Oh, goodness. But while we're talking about those plastic warriors on Twitter plastering Craig's face all over the place, let's talk about what should we talk about? Oh, God of War coming to PC in January. Wow. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't see it coming. I figured maybe the next one, but wow,
I think a few accounts on Twitter never saw it coming either.
I tell you what, that was one of the games that made the PS4 generation. It made it dominant. That and Horizon Zero Dawn, and I mean, if you like walking simulators, they had that too.
Yeah, God of War was phenomenal game.
Well, yeah, one of my favorite games. I'm actually one of the few people who really like Days Gone.
Me
And
too.
I know that
love
game's
Days
got a
Gone.
lot of fight. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed Days Gone. I thought it was a good game.
Yep. So, do we think that what is it, Blue Point, that Sony acquired, that they customize, they specialize in PC ports? I think.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean they acquired that, and even today, obviously I don't know if that's on the subject list, but officially coming out with PlayStation PC, the whole slate, as Jim Ryan pointed out, it's on the way. At this point, whenever they put Kratos on PC, I think it's safe to say that nothing's safe, right? Like there really isn't a larger IP, in my opinion. Kratos is synonymous with the PlayStation brand. As far as maybe Spider-Man, I'm not really sure as far as that from a marketing standpoint, how they're going to push that, but I completely would not say that it wouldn't be coming to PC. My personal prediction would be the next, would probably be the Last of Us series, if my guess. I think that'd be a good fit for PC as well. And after Uncharted, of course, but
Ghost of Tsushima, I'd say too, might become a
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that open world, the open world stuff that you can really push the fidelity on, and they were talking about with God of War, for instance, that there's a few things that they're enabling that they're not even doing on PS5, right? So they're doing, they're adding features to that. So now, technically speaking, PlayStation is not the definitive place to play God of War. You know what I mean? So it's a very interesting turn of events, in this year alone with PlayStation and their push towards, multi-platform on their exclusives.
You scratched the surface of a theory I've been tossing around in my head for a little while when you said nothing's sacred anymore. And we'll get to that in a little while. We'll let that simmer a little more. All right. So going back a little bit, because this is our first episode, so it's not like we have to talk about only the things that have happened in the last 7 days, because we didn't have an episode 7 days ago. The right. DC Universe show, Fandom. What did everybody think about that? What did you think about no upgrades or updates or remasters being announced for the old Gotham games? And what did everybody think about that?
I wanted to start off with that. I saw something online, and I don't know if has anybody tested Arkham Knight on the Series X. Is that actually running at 4K 60? I overheard some people talking about testing it and seeing that something was coming along.
30 right now.
Oh, so they did up-res it because I thought that was locked
a couple weeks ago. That one looks pretty good with the back compat.
But yeah, I thought that Arkham Knight was locked at 900p. I wasn't sure because I
think it's 4K because they had that package where you could buy like all the games in one.
Yeah, the collection,
like 1X enhanced or whatever, right?
Okay, mm-hmm. So it's running 4K 30.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
those are like remasters. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know me personally. I think that the Batman trailer probably stood out the most for me. I was really, really impressed with that. Number 2 would probably be Gotham Knights. I think I'm most excited about that game more than, Suicide Squad. I got to see a little bit more of that. I mean, so far not. I mean, I'm like on the fence about it, but Gotham Knights looks really cool. The 4-player, aspect of it. I think
Suicide Squad look like they look like an in-engine maybe like showing, or what do you think about that? Do you think it was an engine?
Yeah, that's my guess. I'm not really. I wasn't really seeing that as like a gameplay. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I have to. I got to see how that plays out. Is it going to be drop in, drop out type gameplay, or is it going to be co-op? I don't really know how they're going to play that. Or maybe like chapters in Injustice, where you play as one, and then a chapter's done, then you swap over to Boomerang or you swap over to Harley Quinn. But with Gotham Knights, it looks like you can get like 3 of your buddies. Everybody pick a character and go do missions, and that sounds pretty cool. So
Gotham Knight, like the Court of Owls, that looks really cool.
Yeah, and they haven't really touched that on another Batman game.
Too.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Power, you mentioned everybody in Suicide Squad except for Shark Boy. Don't you want to be Shark Boy? Friend, not food.
Shark Dad bod.
What's his name again? It's Shark. Like, I forget
I
his
call
full
him.
name.
Yeah, I call him Shark Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
Shark
cool.
Boy. Yeah.
He looks cool.
And he bites people's heads clean off.
Yeah, he was like the comic relief in that last Suicide
It's like
Squad movie.
Sylvester Stallone voice,
I
wasn't it?
know.
Yeah, it was.
Like num num.
They probably
num.
paid that guy $10 million to say num num.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I need that level of clout. You know what I mean? Just give me a couple million to say nom nom.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I seen somebody post on Twitter the other day. They mentioned they were actually against the new Gotham Knights being about the Court of Owls, and I've immediately thought to myself, you don't read very many comic books, do you? Because this was actually a very, very large story in Batman's universe. The Court of Owls, it was massive, and I mean, it only makes sense to me. We've covered all the big villains. I mean, it's about time we hit a controversy in Batman's world, and Court of Owls is where it's at, man. I mean, we're talking about the game's going to have it's going to have tons of puzzles. It's going to have tons of riddles. I mean, that's what the Court of Owls was about.
RPG, like kind of like an RPG in some ways.
Yeah, and then it's just the whole secret society. You know what I mean? The Illuminati of comic books, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole storyline, and then how they led with Batman being dead initially, leads me to believe that there's more than meets the eye with the story, which I'm excited about.
Well, Batman will be showing up at some point. You got to think, right?
Yeah, that's my guess. I mean, there's no way. I mean, you're probably gonna see characters like Azrael from the comic books. That was a real big part of that.
Yeah,
and it's going to be awesome. You know what I mean? The hardest part is going to be is fighting over who's going to be what character, I think.
I got to be Red Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Hood looks awesome. Yeah. If I can't get him, I guess I'm going to go. I don't know. Is the Robin Damian Wayne? Is it Damian Wayne or is it Tim Drake? If it's Damian Wayne, I'd go Robin.
Wayne, I would assume.
Yeah.
Tim Drake was a pussy.
Damian's a badass.
You got Nighthawk, which is a pretty cool character as well.
Yeah. Nighthawk, that's Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then Red Robin, he was
Jason
Todd.
The Titans, right?
yeah, basically the Teen Titans minus Cyborg and
yeah.
What'd you think of it, Slayer?
So, I actually didn't really watch the whole thing. I just watched the game part of it because I'm not really that much of like a comic book fan. I'll be honest. I like them, but I'm not like a huge fan to the point where like I buy them and I actually read them. But yeah, I mean the games look really cool. I'm excited for the Gotham Knights. I think that's probably gonna be my favorite one out of the two because of the fact that it is co-op, and you know I do have friends that we're gonna play through it with, and yeah, just like Power Man mentioned, it's gonna be a big issue in terms of picking who we're gonna play because it seems like nobody wants to be Batgirl, so that's gonna be very interesting.
I'll be her. Bitch is hot.
Yeah, I don't care. Like honestly, if it comes down to me being Batgirl, I don't care. I'll still enjoy the game because I'm sure it's gonna be fun no matter who you play. Like I'm sure they're all gonna have their own play styles, and we'll probably play through it a couple times. Switch out the characters every now and then. So it's gonna be a good time, especially just like I said. There's not enough. I'm always the person that thinks that pretty much any game could be co-op. Like if I could have Skyrim co-op, that'd be amazing. I would love that.
Yeah.
Like there's so many games. I get it. There's some games that it doesn't work with, and I understand that. But there's a lot of games that don't have it that I think would work really well in. So
take notes, Halo.
Yeah.
But look, if you guys are ever looking for everybody to be Batwoman, I'm there, dude. I'm there. I mean, don't get mad at me when you guys are like almost to the end of the quest, and I'm in the back doing squats and moves, staring at the curves of Batwoman because it's possible. It could really happen.
Yeah, you'd be doing that, and I'll be scouring the levels for collectibles and stuff because that's what I do. My friends are usually pissed at me for like taking my time and exploring everything, and they're just like rushing through it.
For those of you that don't know, Slayer exclusive is a completionist.
Oh hell yeah! Achievement hunter, completionist, the whole 9 yards.
Don't play Far Cry 6, sir. Do not do it. The map
I'll get
is
around to
huge,
that.
and there's too much shit to do.
Yeah, I like 50
I'll
hours
play it
to
through.
have done the map.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I listen. I played through Assassin's Creed Valhalla, complete everything. I completed everything.
Man.
So
Will
that
take
took me, I think,
150 hours.
Yeah, that's
pretty much.
huge.
Yeah, pretty much. If you look at my my gameplay time on the Xbox app, yeah, it's about I think it's about 150 to 175.
Damn.
But that was when we were working from home, so I had a lot more time. So not sure if that's gonna happen, but we'll see.
So, AMD's got a new video card coming out. Kind of looks like Master Chief's armor. I am personally very happy for the 10 individuals that are able to buy that for MSRP and not scalpers. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, if that, right? I mean, even if they get 10, that's gonna be that thing is insta gone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Almost everything that I see online nowadays, I just kind of throw a little comment. Oh, this is another great little thing I'll never be able to buy.
Like
we couldn't even get a fridge, Power.
I know, instant gone. Couldn't even. I didn't even. I started off trying with the because I was thinking about the Halo Infinite Series X, and that was just a no. It wasn't even a chance, and then I actually tried. I was looking at the Halo Infinite GPU, and not happening. So it's one of those things, man. We're living in weird times right now. Everything's getting snatched up and sold at twice the retail, and it's an interesting world we live in.
They got so many shipping freighters off the coast of California right now. You could walk across them to Hawaii.
Yeah, seriously, it's crazy. I've never seen such a demand. And just think about the last generation. You think of like 2013, 2014. Dude, you could go buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. They were stacked. They were stacked into GameStop. I mean, in giant piles. You know what I mean? They're just handing them out. Come get them. Come get them. Come get them. Nowadays, I mean, you got to catch something on a good day to find something in the store. You know what I mean? Like that's just craziness. Even the Nintendo Switch, which isn't even like a brand new thing, is still selling out of stores and being resold at higher value, online because, scalpers are just taking advantage of the situation and trying, I guess, to make a profit off of it. But,
I actually was surprised. I actually picked up an OLED Switch when it came out.
Really?
Yeah.
The closest I got was, I saw them online, and I'm not paying $200 extra.
Nah, me either. I wouldn't have bought it if that was the case.
Yeah.
That's the OLED one you can't even dock, right? So it's just
yeah, it's just a better screen. There's no like upgrade.
No, yeah, but it comes with a dock. It's actually got
the screen.
It's got a dock with a landline.
Yeah, it does have a landline on it, like direct.
Yeah, they added the internet port. So.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just wireless anymore.
I think it's got a bigger hard drive too.
Yep. Yeah, I think it has 64 gigs versus 32.
Which isn't much. It's like 2 games.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, maybe not because the Switch, I think.
The Switch versions are like compressed. Yeah.
They're only like 5-6 gigs, I think, each.
Yeah, like I think Apex is like 11 gigs or something.
Yeah.
On
Switch.
Switch.
The GTA trilogy that's going to the Switch is like 25 gigs.
Yeah, and that's enormous for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like massive. They have to take the day off to download that,
Yeah. And it's just only part of it's on the cartridge, and you have to like do it like a separate download. Like 20 gigs on top of that.
I think the craziest thing as far as Nintendo is concerned, I mean, what do you guys think about this this cloud gaming? Like you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Is like a cloud game.
Yeah, it's cloud. They got a few of them on there. AAA games.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, that's probably going to be, considering that Halo's campaign is going to be in December 8th, so technically would fall on next year. Guardians is probably going to be my game of the year. I don't know if you guys have played it yet, but I'm gonna sit here and tell you right now, especially Bob. I mean, I know that you're old enough to remember the 80s. I'm telling you right now, man, like that soundtrack and the vibe is like an 80s MTV.
Oh,
Dude, it is so good, man. The music,
Oh, don't do this to me.
I tell you right
Now
now,
you got to buy the game.
and you can clip me. I think I like those Guardians more than MCU, and I'm telling you right now, like that's a bold statement, man. But I like that version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I love them.
like
Good.
Square Enix killed it, man.
Like,
You know, and
compared to the movies, is it like better than the movies? Or
well, I mean, I guess it's a cut of the same cloth, right?
yeah,
So the whole premise is that you're Star-Lord and you're the leader and you're playing as Star-Lord. But the cool thing is they have this whole system that's set up that's designed to let you basically kind of call in help. So you're running with the Guardians and, you know, you're fighting enemies. All of them do different things, you know, like Drax has abilities that break shields. Groot has like he can vine people up. Rocket shoots explosives, and you basically control when you want to shoot them. Those abilities, similar to Scarlet Nexus. I don't know if you guys played that, but where you like call in like abilities, and just the dialogue and the overlying story of it is just so good. The vibe and the color palette is amazing. And
I got so many games at the moment, but yeah, I definitely want to check that out at some point.
Yeah, especially you, John, because you like Mass Effect. There's so many dialogue options and interactions in between the characters that just kind of happen organically. Yeah,
it looks so good. Like I was like tempted to buy it, but I was like, nah, I got Far Cry. I got to get through first.
I bought it. I bought it day one, man. I don't typically buy things unless I'm super positive on it, but I took a shot on it. And so far, it's the best. It's definitely the best game that I've played this year so far.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I'm honestly surprised that people doubted IDOS, like just because just because like they made Marvel Avengers, like that wasn't really their decisions. They didn't want to make that game. That was all Square Enix.
That studio's phenomenal. They're like
I mean, every Tomb Raider game has been amazing. The Deus Ex games have been pretty good. So, I'm actually not surprised that this game turned out well because of the fact that, it wasn't a live service game. So they did what they do, what they do best.
And everybody,
maybe they'll take notice now, right? Square Enix, like kind of like EA did when Jedi Fallen Order came out.
Exactly.
So what you're telling me is they put all their effort in this and just let Outriders die, right? That's what they did.
Well, I think that, and to defend Avengers, for instance, right? Like, there's a good story that's in that game. The campaign by itself, I think it's pretty solid. It's just the games as a service model immediately turns people off. And it goes to show with games like Outriders, right? And games that try to kind of step into that role of, Destiny. And, they're always saying, oh, this is the next Destiny killer. This is the next Division killer when the Division was big. I think that people have forgotten, or especially developers and these large publishers, that single player campaigns that don't require microtransactions are still like valid in 2021. And it's good to see that gamers are stepping up and being like, hey, listen, like we like this. We don't need a games as a service. We don't need microtransactions for a game to be great and for us to buy it,
Yeah,
that's true.
This is true.
Sorry.
I'm stuck a little bit on that. You used a word a few comments ago, John. You said cartridge.
Yeah,
some things come in cartridges like SSDs. What do we think about a $400 2 terabyte SSD for the series consoles?
That's definitely a hard pass. That's what that is. Yeah,
I mean, I understand what Microsoft is saying. They're saying, okay, well, $220 got you 1 terabyte. So this is a deal. This isn't even 2 times. But somebody forgot to tell them that SSD prices have come down a little bit since then. Can't do it.
I was listening to another podcast, Xbox 2, and Jez was talking about like something about the tech that's inside that SSD. I guess it's expensive to use, I guess.
Yeah, because it's an NVMe, I think it's called.
Yeah, M.2 Gen 4.
For that specific cartridge that they're using. it's pretty expensive, I guess, too.
Well, yeah, the main issue is it's proprietary, right? So
Yeah.
you have to do that. So there isn't another option. Whereas, if we had an option for just a standard Gen 4 NVMe, they're still pricey, but they're definitely not $400 pricey.
No.
You know what I mean? So that's going to be pretty harsh. But also, they also brought a 512 gigabyte. So I guess it's like, hey, there is a cheap option if you want a cheap option. And then if you're not really concerned about Series X features, you can always just plug in, anything at that point, any external hard drive, and just.
And I do believe these are hot swappable. As long as you're not using that particular drive, you can pull it out with the power on and slide in the next one that may have all your RPGs on it, while you just took out the one that had all your first-person shooters on it.
Yeah.
Just like memory
absolutely
cards
can.
from back in the day.
Yeah. That's pretty rad. A hot swappable SSD? I can't even do it in my portable. I'll screw it up.
Yeah, that's true. I just think that, obviously that $400 price tag is going to be hard to pill to swallow for a lot of people. So I think it's just going to be a matter of, these things they're going to be here. They're going to exist. I think that a lot of people are going to start, probably play the waiting game, right? And catch these things whenever they do eventually start coming down or better tech becomes available. I purchased the 1 terabyte one, and it is awesome to have, because nowadays 1 terabyte just goes so fast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so easy to fill up a hard drive. So, I mean, it's good to have that and to be able to use features that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. But
I use my 8 terabyte. It's a Seagate game drive, my 8 terabyte, and that holds my games until I want to play them on my SSD. Because I mean, I have 200 megs down where I live at, so yes, my internet is fast enough, but I can still transfer from that mechanical drive to my SSD faster than I can download it. So
Yeah.
I like to keep things on hand here. And that and internet speeds, whether you're during the time of day, high peak hours, that's going to fluctuate a little bit. You may get crap one day, and you may get gold next. So.
Yeah, the 512 is a good, nice option if you can't, the obviously the 2 terabytes pretty expensive, but 5 is a nice option to have there. But yeah, I've just been using my just regular, external hard drive and just transferring games back and forth. It's not that bad, I don't think.
Well, I just got a message from our fifth member. Ultimus Gaming will not be able to make it. He's got serious family issues, so he will not be able to make our first episode.
Okay.
And on that stopping point, I want to remind everybody who's listening or who will listen to please like, share, and subscribe to the Xbox Live Party Podcast channel. We are a channel in its infant stages. We haven't done really any AAA reviews yet. We're still on that indie tit. But you know what? The indies are giving us codes to review games, and AAAs aren't. So, it's the way it works. We'll get there. All in due time. So after that, I guess I should let the cat out of the bag. My theory that I've been tossing around in my head for, I guess ever since I heard God of War was going to PC. And this topic, I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. And I think it may be an underlying issue with, let's go ahead and just call a spade, Pegasus Nation. And that is, I honestly believe in my heart that PlayStation has lost its identity. Because if you think about the other platforms, Nintendo's always been Nintendo. Mario, the universe, Zelda, that universe. It's the first two things I think about when somebody says Nintendo. And people argue all the time. Xbox and PC, different platforms. Yes, but it depends on how you define a platform. If you define a platform by hardware and by the software that runs said games, well, then Xbox has always been a PC for your living room because it's always had mainstream hardware in it from a PC. It's always ran through DirectX APIs in a Windows environment. Billy Gates in 2000 wanted to call it the Direct Xbox. So I think of Xbox and PC as two sides of the same coin. And it's because of those similarities in environments and hardware that Microsoft can seamlessly pull off a day and date release on both platforms. Sony, up until the PlayStation 4, the hardware in a PlayStation wasn't mainstream. It was proprietary. And you've had a lot of franchises in the past that, like, Crash, when if you'd asked me 15 years ago, what do you think about when I say PlayStation? I'd say Crash Bandicoot. Well, you can't say that now. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I'd have said God of War. Well, not really 5 years ago. That's 2 years ago. I'd have said God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. I can't say that now. I know what those that are listening may be thinking, well, Xbox games are on PC, but if you listen to the first part of what I said, Xbox basically is a PC. PlayStation does not run on Windows. It runs on Orbis. A PlayStation does not have DirectX APIs. It uses universal APIs through that Orbix, and Orbix is a version of Unix. Sorry. So, I love my exclusives on my PlayStation, and I probably will play some on my PC so that I can see the advantages of the port. PlayStation has got a company now to do ports. I don't consider an Xbox game to PC a port. If anything, it's just a setting of the settings so that you can't adjust them like you can on a PC, because they don't want you to burn your Xbox up. But it's really PlayStation has lost its identity because they can't really call anything theirs anymore other than their gaming console. And this is becoming more and more apparent because every release that I see on PlayStation, every release is a battle for which one's better, which version's better. How does this game of ours compare to this game of yours that has come out or that has been revealed within the same time frame? And in a way, I'm glad that everybody's going to get to play these games if they don't have a PlayStation. But at the same time, I do feel empathy, because that's just like if you're a big Toyota fan and then all of a sudden you could put Honda parts in your Toyota and you hate Honda. I know it's a big difference, but I can empathize. Well, what do you guys think about my theory?
Yeah, for me, it's not really going to affect me because I'm a console guy. So if I decide to get a PS5, I'm just going to play it there. I'm not a PC gamer. So yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal for me. I like, if you just look at like Jim Ryan, since he's been kind of pushing them into this direction. He's importing a lot of their old catalog games, and I think eventually, once the old PS4 catalog kind of catches up to being ported over, they're gonna start doing, like, maybe not day and date games, but it's gonna be pretty close. I think within 6 months to a year. But yeah, I think it's great to just have more options for people that maybe don't want to have a PS5 and they have their PC that they can play the games there.
Oh, I agree with you completely, John. But I don't think the other side of the aisle does.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but we've kind of been through this before with the Xbox strategy, right? So it's kind of like a sticker shock almost for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess Xbox is kind of Microsoft has groomed us to
They
recognize
did it
that.
slowly, right? The right way.
Yeah,
Sony's been doing like kind of forcing it, I feel like over the past like
well,
6 months to a year, right?
they've made comments about things not ever going, and
Just
then
haven't
you
been
find
too
out they are.
transparent. It's kind of what I'm getting at.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, because they believe in generations, and now it looks like I'm good. I'm not going to have to buy a PS5 to play the new God of War or the new Horizon. I can play it on my PS4.
Well, they believe in PC. That's what they believe in.
They
That's
believe
what
They
they're
believe in money.
like,
Money.
exactly. And at the end of the day, and it's like you said earlier, Xbox. If you're a fan of Xbox, we've already been through this, right? Like if you're a fan of this ecosystem, I would like to call it now, because let's face it, Xbox is more than a box now, right? It's more than a console. It's an ecosystem, and it's a place where you can access Game Pass and access titles that come exclusively from Xbox, but also on various platforms, mobile, PC, Steam, et cetera, et cetera. I totally agree with KY's sentiment that Xbox is PC, because it very well is. Everything drops the same. It's literally a settings difference. Xbox Series X is just an optimization from the developers, whereas PC lets you have free reign to play it as you choose. The hard pill to swallow is that a lot of fans of the Sony platform have been able to say for years that they have games that nobody else has, and that is the reason to hold on to this box. And this is why this box is better than that box, because you can't access it. And now Jim Ryan is saying games are coming to PC, and now we're hearing rumors of Sackboy coming to PC, which not a big game, right? But the fact that it came out less than a year ago is a huge fact, because the timeline of these games coming from a PS5 exclusive to coming to PC is getting smaller and smaller by the day. And it seems like every other week we're getting a report of another game that we thought would never come to PC on PlayStation coming to PC. You know what I mean? So the times have changed, and these guys are just not understanding that this is not going. Listen, it's not going to kill PlayStation. PlayStation is not going to go away because these games go on PC. But a lot of these guys that can no longer hold on to this high horse that they're sitting on, literally and figuratively, think that now that their console has been tarnished. Now, I will say that I do agree with the sentiment that it does, like for instance, like me, I primarily play on PC for the most part. So obviously, like I'm not going to go run out and get a PS5 to play God of War, but I could just buy it on Steam, right? So yes, they get the software sales, but also too, I'm not going to run out and buy a PC. But I also saw, some statistics saying that, like, I think it was Matt Piscatella today. Does anybody see that tweet that he let out saying that around there's some crazy percentage of PC players that would never even buy a PS5, but would still purchase a game from the PlayStation Studio. You know what I mean? So those people that were buying those games, those God of War people on Steam, they never planned on buying a PlayStation 5. So Sony is getting those sales.
And that's exactly why they did it, like that's their whole strategy, right? Because there are people like that, you have the people who like consider themselves the PC master race. I have friends actually who like even say that all the time, because they're just like, screw consoles. They're not, I mean, now it's obviously getting a little bit more closer to, in terms of the power and stuff like that, the hardware. But there's I have quite a few friends who are just like, nope, I have a PC. It's, the most powerful thing that, is out there, because, obviously it doesn't come close to some of the consoles out there. So, and yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? Like, those are great games at the end of the day. So that's, that's Sony's strategy. I mean, that's what they want to do, because they know that in order for them to pretty much be sustainable in this, especially, how the economy is going, they have to expand, because, the console market is, it's limited. And if they expand, just like Microsoft is doing, then they'll be able to do a little bit better for themselves.
That and these games are so expensive to make now, right? These
Yeah, they're
huge
getting more expensive.
blockbuster games is just
Yeah.
just to offset the costs on that. Completely understandable why they'd want to put it on
Yeah.
PC.
Look at Halo Infinite, $500 million game, but we're going to let you play the multiplayer for free. Hint, hint, with a lot of microtransactions.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, right? That's the other side of the coin, right? Like I actually think that, I'm not really, I don't really play on PlayStation that much, so I don't really know, I guess, the PS fanboys sentiment on this, but that's the thing, like that's the other side of the coin. Like, okay, you either let PlayStation release their games on PC, or they're gonna fill their games with microtransactions to make up for that, that loss of money, that loss of revenue.
Or they're going to charge $80 a game instead.
I mean, just look
Yeah.
at Days Gone. That game sold 7 million, and they never even got a sequel.
And personally,
Yeah.
I really like Ratchet and Clank on my PS4, but the new one, the way people were carrying that around on their shoulders, I'm surprised it only sold 1 million copies for the amount of PS5s that have been activated.
Yeah, I think it was 10% sales from some.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Come on now.
Even games like God of War and Spider-Man barely cleared. I mean, I don't even think they cleared just over 20% of the entire PS4 lineup of 100 and however many million, right?
Yeah,
and then
20 million, I think.
There's a new report today says 13.8 million PS5s in the wild, and so out of all those that have went out in the wild, you're telling me only 1 million played Ratchet and Clank, which is like basically like their highlight, their holy grail right now. It's one of the few things that they have that they can tout around about having as quote unquote exclusive for now.
For me, I think what really hurt Ratchet and Clank was a $70 price tag, because the last one was only like $40 or $50, right? And the new one was like double the price, and the last one sold much better. And the new one is just, it's not as much content in it.
And I think too, it's just Ratchet and Clank. There's been a lot of Ratchet and Clank games, and none of them have been system sellers. I mean, back in the PS3 and I think it's the PS2 as well, maybe the PS3. But I mean, it was a B tier IP.
Well, they were
you know what I mean?
At one point, every 2 years.
Yeah, like they had them, but they never like they never set the world on fire. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
And that's what I was talking about. Like these IPs, like the fact that God of War, like as soon as you say God of War goes to another platform, like nothing else is off limits. To what Jim Ryan's willing to put on another platform, and they're seeing the success of Microsoft and their push to integrate Xbox Game Pass for PC, Xbox games on Steam, Xbox games on the Windows Store. They're seeing that, and they're also seeing that. Man, listen, they're doing all that too, and we have 8 to 9 million Series X consoles that are being sold.
That's impressive.
On top, yeah, exactly. To not have any true quote unquote exclusives and still be selling that many consoles in 2021, just shows you that there are people in this world that just prefer a way to play. I like playing on PC. John, you like console, and that is what it is. There's a market for both of us. You know what I mean?
And then we can like party up on PC and play Halo together, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Halo, Back for Blood. I mean, take your pick, man. Forza.
That's like really the beauty of the Xbox ecosystem is like you can take your game anywhere you want to go, mobile, PC, console. I don't see Sony. Maybe they will adapt to that eventually with like mobile and like kind of anywhere type thing.
I just want to touch on something Power said. The Series consoles since release have sold more Xbox consoles in Japan than any other generation of Xbox consoles put together. And I do believe that's got a lot to do with their culture in mobile gaming and xCloud. I really do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people that are over there. They're sharing a lot of the Series S, man. The Japanese culture, they really like small, sleek, powerful things. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something they're into. You know what I mean? So the Series S, you know, and a lot of the places I lived over there for a year and a half. I lived in Okinawa. You know what I mean? And like there's not a lot of space, you know, so they don't have room in a lot of these places for gigantic TVs and huge PC setups. So having a mobile phone or having a Series S with a moderate sized TV is something that's very realistic. You know what I mean? I think the UK as well, like, you know, there's a lot of space issues over there. A lot of people live in smaller apartments, and even Jez, you know, on Xbox 2 says, you know, he can't even fit anything higher than a 50-inch TV in his apartment, you know? So the $299 price tag, I mean, for what you're getting for that console for $299, unbeatable.
And I will say that yes, the Series S is a buddy I work with has got one, and it is it's comically small. That's the only way I can put it. And
yeah, it looks cool too.
But at the same time, my Series X came from the Microsoft store on release day, and it came in a box that was the same size as the Series X box. And I immediately thought they sent me the wrong thing, because I thought to myself, that's too small of a box to be a Series X. And then I opened the box and I'm like, oh God, it is not as big as I thought it was. And then I went to pick it up and try to pick up 10 pounds in this little box. You're like, oh my God, that's because it's got no empty space in it.
Yeah, it's deceptively heavy.
And the One X was deceptively heavy too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just very dense.
Oh,
So
quickly going back to the Japan thing, one thing I really noticed too is that they're getting a lot more Japanese support, like for Game Pass or whatnot. So that might be more enticing too as well. Like they just got the Star Ocean game, the other game from Square Enix the other day. I don't know if any of you guys saw that or not.
No, I didn't catch that. What was it?
No, I didn't either. Please tell.
RPG, like sci-fi RPG from Square Enix, coming to Xbox. Usually a game like that would skip, right?
Please, sir, I want some more.
I don't know much more about it, but they look pretty cool. It's like a sci-fi setting, you know, JRPG. People were pretty surprised and happy to see it come over to Xbox.
Yeah, they're getting a lot. They're getting a lot more of those, you know.
Okay, so to finish up this whole Xbox PC, PlayStation PC, whatnot, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm playing Xbox on my television right here in front of me, I always have the Xbox app open next to me, or YouTube. Well, it depends on whether or not I'm listening to a podcast while I play, or if I'm just gaming, then I've always got my PC Xbox app open. And it's vice versa. I'll have my Xbox on, checking for updates or doing downloads or whatever when I'm playing RTS on my computer. And that's all I play on my computer. I do content creation and I play real-time strategy games because I believe those games were just meant for a mouse and keyboard. That's just the way I am. But with that being said, I want to see a PlayStation app. I want to see something on the PC that links you to the community you're loyal to. And that's my biggest issue. I want to see that. I want to see achievements across the board. I want to see games launched through a PlayStation app on the PC. I want to see you be able to access your PS Now, your PS Plus in an app on your PC to play those PC ports. When do we think that will happen?
Well, I'll say this. I think that, you know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I feel that way about everything that you said, right? So we're talking about things that Xbox has already done, right? Like you know, right now I can access my Xbox library, Xbox Game Pass. I can talk with all you guys on Party Chat PC seamlessly. Little to no issue at all. You know, we can call cross-play is super solid. PlayStation is, right, in my opinion, I think that they're in some, in some building somewhere having meetings and talking about reading the field and seeing, okay, we know that we have this stipulation that's behind Sony, and you have a very, very vocal minority fan base that's really loud about not wanting to do these things that Microsoft is doing. But the sad thing about it is that the things that Microsoft are doing is making money, right? And it's breaking down barriers. Sony is wanting to do these things. They're just waiting for an opportune time to drop it on their fans. If you've noticed, they've been drip feeding them games and exclusives to the PC platform very slowly, very, very minimalistic, and most of them are from last generation. What we're seeing is the gap is closing, and slowly but surely these things are changing. I think that they're waiting to sell a certain market or a certain amount of PlayStation 5s. And me personally, I think Jim Ryan is going to, he's going to snap his fingers and say, all right, let's start kicking out this PlayStation app. And one Monday we're going to wake up and see it on Twitter, and Twitter is going to explode. And, that could be the end of ponies as we know it. Keep an eye on your friends. Okay. Keep an eye on your Sony friends. They're going to be hurting that day.
That's right. Don't let friends be in rooms by themselves. It may not be safe.
Talk them through it. You got to talk them through it.
That's right. You got to say, look, man.
Way, though, because their infrastructure is nowhere on the level of Microsoft, right? If you look back to I think the first game Xbox ported was Quantum Break in 2015, and it took them a long time to get everything set up just to do what they're doing now, right? So maybe they'll have some deal with Epic Games or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I mean, aren't they working with Azure cloud servers right now? Isn't that?
I'm not sure. I know there was a memorandum or some type of signing on that.
Yeah,
I haven't really heard.
I'm not. Listen, when I say what I say, I definitely don't mean that next year we're going to see something like that. I think this is going to be a very slow drag. But I do think that it's just, think about this. 6 months ago, we would have never thought that God of War was coming to PC. Correct? I mean, it wouldn't even cross anybody's mind, And even before that, I would have never guessed that a game like even Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a very successful IP for them, heading to PC natively. So the days of, and I would have never thought that Xbox would have bought Bethesda. You know what I mean? It's just these things that are happening in the gaming world that, the world of predictions and being able to, to tell you what the weather's going to be tomorrow or over, man. These companies have the money and the resources to drop, $10 billion on an infrastructure or 15, it just depends on what they want to do with it. If they see where there's money.
Do you think they're going to get their own launcher on PC?
I think eventually, yeah, I definitely see that. Like I said, when I tell you that Sony is watching what's happening with Xbox Game Pass for PC, they're seeing the reception of Microsoft's games being in the top of the charts on Steam. If you pay attention to Steam charts, you're always seeing Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves. You're seeing Microsoft Flight Simulator. All Microsoft for Age of Empires. I guarantee you, if you pull up Steam right now, it's going to be in the top sellers. You know what I mean? So they're seeing these games and these successes, and they're asking themselves, why aren't we getting a piece of that pie when we're already we're selling enough PlayStations? You know what I mean? So, and a businessman's mind, they really don't care, right? They don't have that loyalty that these blind fanboys do. You know what I mean?
Like, it's casual market, Sony, right? I don't think they'll ever stop selling consoles.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? That person that just wants to get little Timmy a PlayStation and put it in front of their TV so that they can play Fortnite with their friends. That's the person that's never going to go and say, oh man, I was going to get this PlayStation 5, but man, look at this PC I can play God of War on. They're not saying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in the same respect, that same person is not going to say, oh man, I'm going to get this Xbox so they can play Forza. They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what you're saying. I went over to a friend of ours' house, a little while. It wasn't, that long ago, but I walk in and he's got his PlayStation controller in his hand. I come around the corner and he's playing Fortnite, and I'm like, man, if you dealt with the console wars like I do on a daily basis, you'd be playing an exclusive or something, man. Goodness gracious.
Right? Somebody make a meme out of that.
like games that sell on PlayStation. It's like top 20 is not even exclusive on the list.
And
Yeah.
I was curious. I looked it up, and actually, the fastest game so far to make the move to PC was Death Stranding. It came out November 8th of 2019, and it was on PC by July the next year.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
and that's crazy. Now I know that that's technically what second party, right? Like, would that be considered like a second party deal, like Detroit?
Yeah, it was a direct exclusivity deal with what's his name? I can't even remember his name now.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, Kojima. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming over to
A Little
Xbox. I
Big
hear.
Planet is supposed to be coming soon, and that hasn't even been out a year. I don't think.
Yeah, Sackboy came out in November of 2020, I believe it was,
Sackboy, yeah, sorry.
or something like that.
Yeah,
I-
Sackboy, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's just a rumor. But at this point, Uncharted was a rumor, and God of War was a rumor, and I believe in the NVIDIA GeForce leak that was in there along with there was another PlayStation game that was listed, but I know Sackboy was in there, and like I said, these games are coming. They're
The
coming.
Last of Us is coming at some point as well.
Yeah.
Because you got that
Oh
TV
yeah,
show coming up next
Ghost
year.
of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was actually listed in the NVIDIA GeForce leak as well.
I'm waiting on Bloodborne. When that drops, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, what a shame, right? PlayStation completely abandoned that. It has a huge cult following. That game would be amazing on PC at 4K, 150 frames probably, with like a decent rig. There's a lot of these IPs that's why I think PlayStation on PC is a direct, line of communication for what we're going to see in the future. The fact that they have a label, the fact that they have PlayStation Studios, page on Steam, like it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's going to get more and more aggressive as the gaming community comes to terms. It's taken the Sony fans a lot longer to come to terms with this, but if you've noticed the narrative that's been driven, especially since God of War has been announced, it's been, oh, this is good for gaming. I don't care. It's only a few years old. In a year or two, they're going to be saying, "Oh, I don't really care that it's coming day and date. I don't care that it's native." You know what I mean? And it's like the same things that we've been hearing for years coming back into fruition on that side. It's very interesting.
All right, look, this is KY Bob. Any of you Sony fanboys out there that are worried, I'm not talking about you toxic motherfuckers. Y'all can eat a dick. But the regular men and women who are exclusive Sony fans, take KY Bob's hand. I will guide you through this. I will let you know it will be okay. It is a good thing that more people get to experience these IPs. So I'm saying to you, hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Xbox. Hit me up on PC. Come on now, let KY Bob be the lubricant for your ear holes. I will make it smooth transition for you. All right.
Very nice.
You on the sauce, KY?
No, I'm just being my smooth host self. That's what I'm doing.
Smooth Talk Radio.
You could do a good GTA voice.
Oh goodness. So okay. New topic. Forza Horizon 5 on fire. Them graphics. Good Lord. I mean, we got reflections on the back of a 2021 Bronco that looks like they're so crisp, it's like a television screen on the back of your ride. I mean, it's not ray tracing. I believe they've actually taken side and back view cameras and projected that onto the vehicles, which is some wild shit. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean that game has always looked good, huh? Like I mean even like the third game looked really good for what it was, when it came out, for the time that it came out. So I'm always in shock and awe of how amazing these games always look, just a little bit better than the last one. And This one is no different. I mean, I can't wait to see what it actually looks like on the actual like Series X on my 4K TV. That size though, the size of that game is freaking huge. It's like 130 gigs or something like that.
It's
Those games are getting
103
crazy.
gigs. It's
103.
103 if you just downloaded the pre-install through Game
Yeah.
Pass. But if you look at the premium edition, it says disk space 130.
Got it. Yep. Okay. So I got the two mixed up, but yeah, 130 gigs. That's freaking insane.
And I'm actually really seriously thinking about the premium edition. I mean, because I know I can play it, but I like to have more stuff than my friends. And I like to support my developers and Playground Games. Man, these boys are boss. They've been handed Fable of all things, and they're going to do a good job too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think the Playground's probably, I mean, in my opinion, probably Microsoft's best developers. You know what I mean? Like they're just so consistent and the content that they put out. You know, I'm in the same boat. Like Forza Horizon 5, I'm definitely buying. I'm buying that game. I'm not going to be, you know, just utilizing Game Pass for that. I'm gonna purchase that day one. I think that I'm just way more excited about Fable looking at a game like Forza Horizon 5 coming out, to see the polish and the ability and their ability to, you know, to handle landscapes and real transactions and physics. I mean, I just can't even imagine what a game like Fable is going to look like in 2023 or whenever this game drops. You know, it's going to be amazing. You know, the content, the cars. You know, it's been, in my opinion, it's been the best racer for a while now, and I don't think that that's going to change. I think that Gran Turismo looks like a decent simulator, but in my opinion, Forza Horizon 5 looks more fun, looks more vibrant, and looks like something that will actually hold my attention a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game just looks like straight phenomenal. Like I've just been watching so I actually kind of like, when I'm really interested in a game, I don't like watching too much to spoil myself, but that game I'm watching a lot on, and it looks so good. That's the reflections, the like the details on the road, just the cars. I don't know how many cars. Do you know how many cars are going to be in that one?
Over 300 to begin.
Yeah, and I think they got the Toyota back, because the last game they didn't have Toyota.
Yes, they do have it back. As a matter of fact, the footage that has been seen on Twitter is some of it is of the new 2021 Supra.
Yeah, that's what I hyped. I was like, man, that looks so awesome. I can't wait to play it. And that's like one of the most games I'm looking forward to, for sure. And that's only like 2 weeks away. Yeah,
November 5th, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, November 5th, I think, for the Ultimate Edition, right? That unlocks early?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's always stood out about Forza to me, and don't get me wrong, I loved Need for Speed all the way back to the very first one on the original PlayStation. I loved Gran Turismo all the way back to the very first one on the first PlayStation.
Ridge Racer on the PlayStation 1.
Yes, Ridge Racer was good too.
Yeah.
The first thing that really stood out to me about the Forza series was that, you know, I understand that Gran Turismo was meant to be somewhat of a simulation, but when my speedometer says I'm doing 140 miles an hour and on screen it looks like I'm doing 60, that I had a problem with that always. But Forza knocked them doors down and said, "You're doing 220 miles an hour. Guess what? Shit's flying by so fast. You better have your eyes on the road. Otherwise, you're gonna die."
Yeah, the beauty of it is just the speed. Like if you're going so fast and you hit like an open field, and it's just you're like driving through the trees or the bushes or whatever, right? It feels so good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
And obviously the music as well, right?
Yeah. I wonder if it'll be Spanish themed, being in Mexico.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Like, It's kind of like a Far Cry. His music's kind of like that, right? And some of the radio
Yeah.
stations. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of having an issue with that because the only jams that I've been able to really get around, get down with on Far Cry has been the Macarena or Informer singing "I Lick You Boom Boom Down," and then there was another one on there I believe that I was jamming to, and then the rest of them are just like,
underrated song.
No joke. I actually just
Yes.
turned the radio station off on that one. I don't know why.
oh goodness. Well, what do you guys want to talk about? Anything y'all that I've missed?
I don't know, man. I just think that everybody needs to play Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't talk about that game enough, man. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
I was on RDX this past Tuesday, and the way Zalker and Dealer were talking about this game, I was like, me and Fonzarelli, we were both like, oh my God, you guys are gonna make us buy another game, and I'm still fighting it. But after tonight, I'm gonna have to get it now.
I got like Forza coming in a couple weeks, and then after that, I got the GTA trilogy as well.
What is the release date on that, John?
That's on the 11th, and the San Andreas is going right into Game Pass.
Yep, Veterans Day.
Yeah,
I love San Andreas.
yeah, that's awesome.
Are you guys picking up any other shooters besides Halo, or I mean, any Battlefield, or any chance of COD or Battlefield?
I can't really. I can't. I mean, I will pick them up eventually, but with Forza and Halo hitting a month apart from each other, and me still I still haven't finished Back 4 Blood. I still haven't finished Far Cry 6, and I really want to finish these.
And then Guardians,
and
then GTA.
And now Guardians. Yeah.
It's insane.
Sometime next year, I will delve into Vanguard and 2042.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be in the Halo campaign pretty heavy for a while, and then, I got Guardians of the Galaxy. I got that to play, and then what is it? Then early next year, I got the Witch Queen for Destiny. I mean, I'm a big Destiny fan, so I'm definitely gonna be picking that up.
Yeah, Dying Light 2 is coming early next year.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got that pre-ordered too. Damn,
co-op on that one.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I need to go back. I need to finish up the first one.
I have finished the first one, but I haven't finished the following yet.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't do the DLC. I don't think that's the DLC, right? The extra content.
Yeah, the following is the DLC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, the following was pretty awesome. Actually, I'm surprised that's actually DLC, because that is actually as long as a regular game. I actually played through that recently. Last spring, I started playing through the first one again. Played through that completely, and played through the following right after, and it was very, very interesting. And it kind of basically ties in the first game, and also ties into the second game. So you can kind of see, depending on the ending you take. So just a minor spoiler, there's just two endings. So that's the only spoiler that I'm going to give. And so depending on which ending you take, it kind of gives you an idea of what the second game, or how the second game came to be, in a way. So it's very interesting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's and a lot of people have given that game flack, the second one, because it's not about the zombies anymore. It's about the people, and that's just a natural evolution of a zombie apocalypse. We've seen the same thing in The Walking Dead. It's not about the zombies anymore. It's about the living.
But I don't get that though, because I don't feel like Dying Light 1, I feel like Dying Light 1 was about the people though, in a way. Like you were trying to help, these people that were stuck in this town and they couldn't get out, because they were basically being quarantined in, and you're trying to basically give them hope to live. Like you're helping them out to at least live and in their shitty situation. So I don't. That's a weird argument in my opinion, but I guess I'm alone in that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. I noticed it felt like I was, especially at night, man. It was just all about the zombies. And it was just chaos.
Yeah, to me, Dying Light is about the the humanity part of it, the zombies at night, like you just mentioned, and also the freaking parkour. Like that is the spotlight, the parkour of that game. Because like,
Oh yeah,
there's so many freaking zombie games out there. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse at this point. But this game is what sets this game apart is the parkour. Like no other game. It's like if you took Dead Island and merged it with Mirror's Edge, and that's like
exactly.
amazing.
Thank you. I was
Yeah.
getting ready to say Mirror's Edge.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
you got it.
freaking great. It's awesome.
Weren't they the original developers of Dead Island?
Yeah, they were.
Yes.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Like Dying Light 1 would be an awesome addition to Game Pass, right? Like maybe right before the month or two before Dying Light 2. Let a lot of people get a taste of it, and then maybe they'll jump on the purchase.
That it will be that acquisition's coming in 60 days.
Oh yeah.
I wish.
Wow. As I say, that's
Like,
were
hello,
actually-
everybody. Techland joins Microsoft.
I think there actually were rumors when they were, having this issue, with all these development issues that they were having, and to the point where people thought that the second game wasn't even going to come out. I believe that there was rumors that Microsoft did like approach them and like apparently like help them out a little bit to kind of get back
I do
on track.
remember hearing about that. Yeah, they did help.
A couple videos on that actually.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it just kind of didn't come to fruition, I guess.
I mean,
If it had, could you imagine a zombie game made by Undead Labs and Techland? Oh my
Oh, man.
god.
Interesting.
I'd love to see Dead Rising come back.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Dead Rising, but I don't know. For me, I did not like the whole time restriction thing. That just made me not enjoy the game.
That's what makes number 4 so good. That time restriction is gone in number 4.
I love the 3 though, the serious tone of 3.
Yeah. 3 had that whole.
It's like in Christmas time and in a mall, and you're just like trying on weird outfits and just killing a bunch of zombies, basically.
Tearing zombies' heads off with a candy cane the size of your body. Yeah.
It's fun though. Don't get me wrong.
Oh goodness. Yeah. So we've got. I've heard some numbers on Game Pass, and I don't know. They're talking about last we heard was 18 million, and the rumor is a 10% increase in that. And that could be. That's okay. I mean, we're talking about a 10% increase on 18 million, and we haven't even gotten really into the holidays yet, which is where your big games that you won't have to pay for if you have Game Pass, like Forza and Halo, are going to hit. I mean, that could be big. Yeah. I mean,
I think
because we're starting to come out of COVID time right now. And so everybody's sitting at home on their bums playing video games is coming to an end, but yet Game Pass is still growing, which is a positive thing. Go ahead, John.
I think it was in June it was reported 18 and it grew 37%. But it was short by 10%. It was supposed to be 47. So like the target was 47 and they hit it like 37. So if you do the math, they kind of broke it down on Twitter. I've seen some people breaking it down. It's roughly around 20 million, like over 20 million at this point. Maybe 21.
Wow.
It's still pretty good because like in the pandemic, they grew like exponentially, like massive growth. So like you said, it's kind of like slowing down, right? Just
I feel sorry for those. Yeah, I feel sorry for those developers whose families are going to go hungry because that's 20 million people that won't buy their game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're getting a bag.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Microsoft's already like giving everybody raises and
Like, because
to
if
their
they
salary.
did, you'd know about it.
Oh yeah.
The developers would be yelling from the rooftops.
They'd be preaching it on the corners, saying, "Do not do this. It's not worth it."
Exactly. Like, you
Mhm.
know.
All right, guys. Well, I think this is going to sum up our first episode. We've been live for an hour and 25 minutes. I think the first 10 minutes of that was technical issues, something like that,
As it should be.
because Bob didn't realize that you have to add each individual person to the stream, and it's not on the little icon in the corner of the box either. You just have to hit their gamer icon, and it says add to stream. So
it's that simple.
it's always the easy shit that you overlook. All right. Well, I mean, we've let everybody know that we're here, and we've let everybody know what we're about. And I think it's time to let everybody know where they can find us. Slayer exclusive. What are you up to, and where can people find you?
Well, right now I'm finishing off the Alan Wake DLC and playing through ESO. And they can find me on YouTube under Slay Exclusive Gaming, just like my icon is right now. So, yeah, definitely stop on by and say hello. Check out some of the content. We'd really appreciate it.
And you can find him on Xbox Live Party USA on Thursdays.
Yes, and Saturday sometimes as well on the Xbox Live Party podcast, our Saturday show at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. Eastern because it's it's a UK based channel, and those blokes, when it's R3, it's their 8 o'clock, so they're all liquored up and ready to party. So you know how they are. I love every one of them. John Blue, what have you been up to, and where can people find you?
Just been playing some Far Cry 6 and playing a little Metroid as well, Metroid Dread.
Oh,
which is pretty good. And
Good
yeah,
game. It's a great game.
Yeah, it is really good. But yeah, I just want to say thanks for inviting me in the show, and everyone's been very nice. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I didn't mess up too badly.
Oh no, John, you were great.
Well, yeah, you can find me at Twitter at jboss293 John Blue, and you'll find me up there.
All right. Can we expect to see you here every Thursday, John?
For sure.
Awesome sauce.
If you'll have me.
No.
Oh yes. Oh yes. We will have you, sir. Power Man 4K. What have you been up to, and where can people find you, sir?
Guardians of the Galaxy is basically where I'm going to be at for the next. I don't even know how many hours that game has, but I'm doing at least 2 runs of it. If I'm not doing that, I'm actually doing some game recording some gameplay, trying to get some stuff on my YouTube channel. That's Powerman 4K as well. I'm also on Twitter at Powerman 4K. You'll probably catch me boxing a bunch of fanboys. That's usually my pastime on Twitter. So you guys catch me on there, and hopefully you'll see me every Thursday.
Awesome. And this is KY Bob. You can find me on Twitter at K_Y_Bob. You can find me at KY Bob, Xbox, PlayStation. You can find me, my YouTube channel is KY Bob with the brand moniker Game Set Live, which live streams will begin again soon. I've just been getting used to this new work schedule. And you can find me every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, hosting this awesome new show on the Xbox Live Party podcast channel. And every other Saturday, because of my work schedule, I can only make one show every other week, at 3 p.m. on the Xbox Live Party podcast channel on the Mothership Show. And I guess that's a wrap, boys. Thank you, everybody who has listened. Thank you, everybody who will listen. And please like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow. Good night, everybody.
Take it easy, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night. Catch you guys later.